Welcome back. Let's find out if we've gotten anything wrong so far. For that, we go to Paul Mercurio. Hey, Paul.
Gall to Paul Mercurio?
Gall to, yeah. We can gall to you.
Why are you sitting and not standing like the...
Because if I stand, Paul, I look like a freaking giant.
Really?
Yeah. The set is built to Gutfeld specifications.
So it's...
Everything on this set is miniature.
So it's man on
It's
top
amazing.
of wedding cake size? Is
Yeah.
that what it is?
This table is 1.5 feet off the ground.
Stand up.
It's
Let me see.
unbelievable.
Stand up.
I mean, we've done this. We've done this bit before. Can we take
Oh
a
my
wide
God.
shot? Can we take? Well, a shot on me doesn't prove anything.
You're ghoulishly...
Giants.
Speaking of the NBA.
Yeah.
That's a big man.
All right, well, let's get to this. On the recruiter story, Jamie, you said
Yes.
it's not as if people join the military without weighing their options at this stage of their lives. Can I remind you, these are high school students, okay? They don't weigh texts that they send, Facebook statuses that they post. Do you really think that they have the semblance and the maturity to weigh something as heavy as...
Post 9/11, I mean, they understand that if they join the military, they're very likely, very possibly going to go into conflict. I can't imagine anyone makes that decision lightly, even a high school student.
Well, but if you look at those Navy SEALs commercials, you know, you're like one European whore away from being a man of mystery and espionage, right? I mean, there is a little bit of that sort of pushing the envelope. I know Andy didn't have that problem when he was recruited because he's not a bright guy, but, you know, there is something to be said for sort of full and fair disclosure. Don't you agree?
Fine, but I'd be interested to see who they're going to choose as the anti-war protesters. A lot of these guys are not giving credible information. A lot of them give a lot of this nonsense propaganda. You probably have North Korean apologists.
Fair enough. I'll give you that. I mean, they do have to pick the right person to represent them. I do agree with you one thing about the lawyers, that you'll have fewer disgruntled lawyers if you have the other side. I was a lawyer, and, you know, I thought it was going to be, you know, money and whatever, and it turned out to be 23 hours a day of my soul locked in a box along with my sex drive. So I agree with you about that.
But Paul, to be fair, that's because you were a crappy lawyer. There are people who become good lawyers and they're very successful and very happy.
I'm actually Googling that. Not crappy, extremely crappy, according to Google. Yes.
Try to be nice.
Why don't you stay seated there, big man?
Yes, ma'am.
Masa, I guess where I am on this with you is, you know, you said anti-war protests don't offer kids anything. Why? I agree with you that this isn't a career path to be an anti-war activist, but it is an option for someone to sort of think about, well, what's the downside to pursuing something like this, even though they may be poor and this is their only option is to make some money, earn a living while they're getting shot at.
I don't think that the recruiters, for the most part, I think there's shady people everywhere, but for the most part, I don't think the recruiters are like lying or tricking people into joining the military.
I'm not saying they're lying or they're tricking people, but I do think that there is this other side of it that kids should hear. Don't you agree?
I do agree, but I also think there's another side of law school. There's another side of getting into the ad agency. I think any big choice that you make, I think, you know, there's the good side to it and there's the bad side to it. I think the military has like a million different wonderful things that you can get from it, and for some people I think that's a good route, and I don't have a problem with them going in and, you know, telling kids about both sides, but I think like a lot of people here, I mean, who are these people that are going to be going in?
Right. Well, Constantine, if you were a high school student and someone told you, hey, this is the option to go to military into the military, you think you would have the semblance of maturity to sort of be able to sort of make that decision when you were in high school? Because you were playing with dolls and blowing them up, so it sounds like...
That I was, and I still do.
Yeah.
The best is with the magnifying glass and the sunlight.
Maybe you're a perfect guy to go into, you're a perfect guy to go into the military then.
I know. They definitely want me in there. Look, you know, I was a fairly smart guy in high school. I think I could have figured it out for myself. But like I said, I think certainly in a place like Portland, you know, everyone's kind of pretty chill there, whatnot. I think there's no harm in offering some information and, you know, just having conversations and, you know, just encouraging, yeah, a conversation about the whole thing. Just think things through, you know, kind of see both sides. How do we know, I mean, what kind of people are actually recruited to be recruiters in the first place? I mean, it kind of seems like maybe not. I know as your grandfather and all that, or your
But isn't the
father-in-law.
worst? You mean in the military?
Yeah, like
you have to be a damn good soldier to become a recruiter.
For real?
Is that right?
Absolutely, yeah. In the Army, yeah.
Isn't
think
the
it's,
worst?
they seem, yeah, no,
you do.
I buy that, but I just think it's a conversation. It's just information that they're offering kids.
Right.
And
So what we've learned is if we ever invade the Valley of the Dolls, Constantine is first one in and last one out. No head will not go unmelting.
But I think it also propagates this myth that the people that are going into the military were all duped to go in there and they had no other options. And
No,
without
you're going
question-
you're going to the other extreme with it, and I think that that's unfair too. I mean, I agree with you that not everybody's being duped, but at times, you know, one tour of duty turns into 14 tours of duty, and people start scratching their head. But moving on, you're all wrong, and Constantine is right. Moving on to our next topic, which is Boy Scouts. Now, Jamie. From my point of view, you know, you obviously have an issue with this, but we're not talking about a boy who wants to play basketball against girls. I mean, we're talking about a boy who wants to sell cookies, basically. And by the way, I actually think this is his actual motive, is he just wants to get close to the cookies and doesn't care about Girl Scouts really altogether. What do you think?
I think that very well may be the case. You say I have an issue with this. As I said, it's a private organization. They can choose what they want. But I think to some level, they can't be just dictated but what a 7-year-old kid wants to do. The parents are his parents, and they should also be guiding him.
I agree. At 2 or 3, he doesn't know. But at 7, if you read the story and you look at the footage, this kid is clearly committed to being a girl at this point. It's fair to say that he's made that decision and is probably old enough to make the decision. This is.
I have a question. You think that at 17 you can't? You're not capable enough to go in the military, but at 7 you're able to make a decision whether you're going to be a girl or a guy and change your gender identity.
Well,
I think there's a big contradiction there.
Okay, let's be clear. I'm the ombudsman right now, not you. Bill, going to you, I mean, you obviously look like you're ready for some sort of organization. I'm not exactly sure what it is.
I've been recruited by the KISS Army.
Well, you're doing a fine job.
Let me see your
of
tongue.
it.
Show me your tongue.
No, not on national TV.
I think that at the end of the day, and I did say at the end of the day.
Oh, this is a slippery slope. This is a slippery slope.
Moss's point about where you draw the line is actually a valid one, sort of, in terms of where these kids, a child like this, a transgender child like this, wants to go next. Girl Scouts feels fairly harmless, but then where does it take us if you want to be in the locker room with the girls? How would you handle that if you were a principal of a school, Masa?
I'm still stuck on you being so surprised that I made a valid point, Paul. Moss's point is actually about no.
I love your boots, by the way.
Oh, thank you.
You should let Bill wear them.
He's going to borrow them for tomorrow night's Halloween party. He's going as
old man.
And can I add that we've actually
girl.
seen the scenario you mentioned. It was a Rodney Dangerfield movie. I think it was called Ladybug. It was a boy who was dressed up as a girl to play on the soccer team.
Yes.
And that didn't end pretty.
Yeah.
And then there was Juwanna Mann.
That's true. Oh, yeah. I did not see that one.
Go ahead,
I don't
Masa. You
think
get
you
the last
should.
word on this.
Good show.
I don't know if I had a daughter. I don't know if I would be comfortable with a boy being in the same restrooms with her. I don't know. It's kind of weird.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. Moving on to scary movies. Constantine, you said Pet Sematary you liked as one of your scariest movies. The fourth kind, I agree with you, because nothing sexier than seeing Mila really, really scared. Just gets me off. I think you're completely right.
That's
Thank you.
borderline illegal.
Yeah.
Thank you.
What is wrong with you?
Listen, I'm a man. But now, Bill,
You
on
need
The
to see
Exorcist,
women look scared? That's what gets you excited?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, it's why I like snuff films, okay? Stop judging me, giant man among little people.
Wow.
It's the same look his wife gives every time he comes home from work every night. It's just what he's used to.
You should have come to Washington dressed like that with us. You would have scared the daylights out of my wife. All right, anyway, The Exorcist, Bill, you're completely wrong. That thing was scary the first year it came out, but there have been so many parodies of that movie that I can't watch it with a straight face anymore.
Here's what you need to know. That can happen to you. Did you listen to one thing I said? That movie made it very clear. Didn't matter what your persuasion, didn't matter what you believed in, the devil gets into your brain. And then you know what comes out of your mouth? Pea soup.
Pea soup.
Well said. You have the last word.
Thank
Andy?
you.
Oh, you're done?
I'm done.
Oh, thanks,
Just tell
Paul.
me I'm
Nicely
done.
done, buddy.
Nicely done.
Thank you.
Coming up, health Nazis conspiring to ruin your lunch and your life. A fair and balanced debate next.